Hey everyone, Teddy here, aka James Kazao on MTGO, coming to you with some Grixis control on MTGO. No real channel updates this time, just gonna keep on going. We are closing in on 100 subs though, at which point I think I might start opening up the phone lines and asking for some deck list suggestions if you want to see some Grixis tech or just any legacy or even maybe modern deck. I haven't played modern in a while, but I'll give it a shot. Just want to see my spin on things, see how I pilot a deck. Let me know. Could be fun. Anyways, today we're still playing some Grixis control. Don't worry about that third Bowmasters there. I'll get that updated before we register. I want to audition some 4-drops in the new meta, and particularly creatures. There's good synergy with Kolaghan's Command, and I also want to try out Sauron's Ransom. At instant speed, it's usually a 2-for-1, maybe more if your opponent splits it 1-for-3. You're giving your opponent full information on those 4 cards, but sometimes that doesn't matter when it's so maneuverable. We put cards in the graveyard for Snapcaster Mage or Kolaghan's Command. And then I also want to see the synergy between Kolaghan's Command and then the big 4-drop creatures. Shieldred seems pretty good. Shadow is really popular right now, and outside of an Edict, they don't really have a really good way to deal with Shieldred the Apocalypse. And Caves of Chaos Adventure is pretty easy to cast with just 1 red pip. Gives you the initiative, get card advantage when you attack. Just a really great card. And then we are back to 20 lands, thank God. It was rough that last league with 18. And then something pretty weird I'm going to try out is I'm down to 2 Ponders. Brainstorm in the Bowmaster meta is still super maneuverable, being an instant at 1 blue. But Ponder can sometimes feel pretty bad if you're just staring at open black X mana and you got your Ponder. It's still one of the best cantrips ever printed, still a super powerful card, but I'm not saying this is right. I just want to try it out, cut down to 2 Ponders, see what happens. I think that's about it. Back with Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Love it. We're not running Nimble Obstructionist because as a 3-1 in this meta, it's kind of a big ask, and I haven't seen a lot of Doomsday or other decks that kind of get hosed by its Stifle effect. Those decks have not been as present, at least not in my matches as of late. They could very well still be out there. Sideboard, super boring, super normal. This is pretty much the exact sideboard I've been running for many iterations. From the Catacombs might look funny if you're a new player or new to this channel, but I've been loving this card. Even though it is a 5-drop, just the escape clause on this makes it really difficult for a grindy deck to deal with unless they have exactly Force Negation, which they do sometimes have. Not saying this is foolproof, but more often than not, it is a grinding menace. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm excited to cast some 4-drops and hope they take over the game. Let's get in there. Here we are for round number 1, winning the die roll, up against Jace TMSST, skilled player of initiative decks, or Red Prison rather. I get them confused these days. And we'll be throwing this back. Aside from having no Force of Will, there's just no real plan. 1 land, 2. Okay, there's a Force, but there's no lands. I'll throw this back as well. Alright, I guess we'll make do with this. I like having a creature against the initiative, preferably one with Flash. Although Strix comes down before Borrower. And if we just get hit with a Chalice, then Bolt's looking kind of bad. I think I want 2 lands, pitch the Ponder to Force, play Strix. Well, actually I think I'll Ponder. Then if they Blood Moon, I'll pitch the Strix to Force. I'll shuffle that. Okay. I knew it. With their keep of 7, we're just going to have to fight insane red mid-range. At least we're getting on board here with the Strix. That's pretty sweet. Cling to Dust, okay. Pretty useless here. Even if there wasn't a Chalice, they're not really a deck known for their graveyard synergies. Trinisphere. If I don't hit a land, I'm not forcing anything, but I also don't want to force anything that's not killing me. Always had it. That's why I didn't force the Trinisphere. Alright, they have 16 turns to figure this out. I bet we'll get them. Yeah, that's definitely worth a Force of Will. Pitch the Brainstorm. Narset. Alright. Did not hit a blue source, but if we do, that can help us find some action. But I imagine I'll probably just need to pitch it. Okay, another Fable. Running out of things here. Ooh, Plague Engineer. That is a great one. Throw that on Goblin. Now all of a sudden we have 3 power on board. Quite the difference. Cursed Mirror. That's too bad. I think I shall not block. Land number 4. Alright. Approaching the ability to double spell. Alright, here's our Rabblemaster effect. If they ever deal with this Plague Engineer, the rails, it just completely goes off the rails, but for now we're doing okay. The Magus of the Moon is pretty obnoxious though. I can't really keep pushing damage now. If they block the Plague Engineer with Magus, they don't really care that much, and also that'll unlock Legion Warboss, but turning off their Soul Land is kind of cool, because now we don't have to worry about certain things. Caves of Chaos Adventure, alright. Lightning Bolt turned off, alright. This one's probably over. Woo, and a Shatter Skull Smashing. Alright, let's go to the next game. Tough Mold of 5, put up a decent fight, but the Chalice really did work on us. I would like Meltdown, both Blue Blast. Sometimes I've been bringing in Flusterstorm against these decks, but I don't see any evidence of white mana, so I don't think I need to worry about 4th Aerolingus. Thoughtseize number 3 on the play. Really looking to collapse those perfect hands. Take another Plague Engineer, and then also take from the Catacombs on the play. Cut Cling to Dust there. Cut Narset. Sauron's Ransom. Is it possible Thoughtseize is just worse? We're kind of rivaling them in the mid-range department for once. Already working with 2 less Ponders. Cut 1 Bowmasters. They're not at their best here. And yeah, I guess another Narset. And yeah, I guess 2 Thoughtseize is fine in this situation. Take the play for sure. Hand is really slow and has 2 Snapcasters in it. No blue mana, so we're not even challenging a fast initiative. This has to be a mulligan. Much better. No blue card for the Force. I think I might just throw that back. Thoughtseize, possibly take a Chalice. Most of their threats are challengeable with Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I just have to throw this back. It's weird, but here we are. Tough pick here. They have enough mana to power out a turn 1 and 3 drop. And then some. I think I just want to take Fury. I don't care about the Magus. I have Lightning Bolt. I don't care about Cursed Mirror. I could take, I guess, their permanent red source. That might be the line. Although tempting them to cash this all in for a turn 1 Fury that I can just Lightning Bolt is pretty sweet. None of this really matters. Cursed Mirror can annoy my Bowmasters, but I also have Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, I guess I'll just take their permanent red source. This also kind of walks them into a turn 1 City of Traders, which is not really where you want to be if you're not powering out something really strong on turn 1. Ah, they found the Chalice. That's too bad. That is what I was really hoping to take with a Thoughtseize. Although we're just one land drop away from being able to K-command that. And they did commit to the city on turn 1. More Bowmasters. Alright, we'll just chill. Wow, they are really hitting. Top of their deck is working out for them. They don't really have X1s anyways, so I'm going to make them think twice about using Fable of the Mirrorbreaker's card selection mode. How about a land? I guess I'll take that. Another 1-drop. That's too bad. Fury on the pitch cast. That's another spirit guide they found. So the hand is Cursed Mirror, Magus, and 1 unknown card. Not thrilled about these treasure tokens, I'll tell you that. And now we're kind of entering the stage of the game where bolting this Magus isn't all that great. Definitely need to blow up Chalice, but I think I'm still going to shock the Shaman token. I'm not really seeing many blue cards I'll need to cast. Let's hang back for a minute though. Definitely do it pre-combat. But I kind of like them being on 1 mana. Then if I bolt the Reflection... Okay, well, I get the land too. Penalty free from City. Returning Bowmasters is interesting, but I just have to control this board. Being able to ponder is also interesting too. Maybe I do want to blow up the Magus. I just don't like turning on their soul land again. I might be able to answer the Magus for quote-unquote free with this Bowmasters though, so let's shoot for that. They might just swing in because they're a deck that does want to pressure. And then we can sneak up from behind and get a basic island off this Scalding Tarn. Uh-oh, what's this? Cursed Mirror? Okay. Never mind, we'll have to wait. They're pushing some damage. Yeah, they're both coming in. Okay, cool. Ping the OG. Block set OG. Alright. This is our comeback story. With a polluted Delta. Alright. Scalding Tarn being the least valuable of the fetch lands here. I don't know about this. I will keep Lightning Bolt just because it deals with all their threats pretty well. I'll probably want that Force of Will too. All their cards are really scary. Definitely won't force a Caves of Chaos Adventure though. I will bolt that. Looks like they might have one. Okay, they're firing up the Den. I will be bolting that. Now we're both playing pretty low resources. Okay, they're conceding to that. I guess that makes sense. But I think they're giving me a little too much credit on that Ponder I kept. On the draw, Thoughtseize is pretty much unplayable. Bring back a Narset, up that blue card count. Bowmasters, having a Flash Thread is sweet. Sauron's Ransom, it's 2 colors and it's both of the wrong colors for like a Blood Moon situation, so I don't feel great about it. It's also a pretty dirtily card. We don't really have the luxury against an aggressive deck like this to play it most of the time. It doesn't really help your board. The Ring Bearer doesn't do a whole lot. It could help you get the initiative, but I think I'm good with this setup. I'm a little worried about From the Catacombs, but sometimes it's the only way to save yourself from Throne of the Dead 3. And that's never getting chaliced out, I'll tell you that. This hand is pretty scary. It does have force though. I don't think I can throw it back. They're snap keeping 7. In the face of that, I just want to force, because more often than not, they will force check you on the play. And with this Chrome Mox, it's kind of looking like that's what's going down. I'm sure we'll find a land. We always do, Trinisphere. I really don't like forcing things that aren't killing me, but I'm literally not doing anything if I don't force this. Then I'll need 2 more lands before anything. Yeah, it's going. And I'm going to pitch Sauron's Ransom. Alright, how about a land? Alright, well, it is a flash creature at least. But if they slam a Caves of Chaos here, that could be tough. Chalice of the Void. I've definitely lost a match before because I didn't fire off the lightning bolt here, and they stabilized at like 2 life. I'm also playing meltdowns and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth... Well, they do have Ancient Tomb as well. And I've got 3 creatures in hand. Not to mention, this means I can't get a basic island, but I don't know. Let's do it for science, see what happens. Alright, missed on land again. That's unfortunate. Caves of Chaos Adventure, sure. So we need a land this turn, and then if we can sneak past a Snapcaster Mage and make it to the trap, we should be good. Okay, we hit the land. That is sweet. Or we could just edict this away, let them go to the Forge first, and then we'll get trapped. Kind of no big deal. And then take the initiative up after that. Yeah, they're going to the Forge. Okay, sweet. I don't think they run any flash creatures. They have Sokens on, but Shieldred's Edict will play around that. I guess I'm getting basic Swamp. Blood Moon. Yeah, that's too bad. And a Fable. Meltdown. Does a little damage control, but I think we're going to get got by the initiative here. Everything's just a little bit out of order here. If we had the Lightning Bolt available for the Caves of Chaos Adventure, we could have fetched a basic island with that Polluted Delta and had Snap on board. Could still find Orcish Bowmasters, though. That's a good way to steal the initiative. Fable, alright. Waiting on that 3rd land. Not looking good, though. Chalice is back. Let's hit the Reflection. Brainstorm. Can't cast it. Alright, well... Hopefully they'll just flip a bunch of, like, Trinispheres and lands, I guess. Oh yeah, they got some options here. Good games. That's exactly how Red Prison can win. Didn't get to see any of those 4-drop bombs in action last round. It wasn't really a match where you could stop and breathe. But this time... we're up against Lutri, which does not happen very often. This hand is a complete nightmare, but it has 4 lands and Caves of Chaos Adventure, so we're going to keep it for science. We're not playing for a trophy or anything here. We lost the first match, so let's just see what happens and see how it stacks up against Lutri. Lutri is a super powerful card, but the problem is your deck can sometimes be a little inconsistent because they all need to have different names for Lutri to be your companion. But there's no doubt having a dual caster mage in the reserves is pretty darn strong. And you can always usually count on it being a blue or red good stuff deck. Basic mountain, sure. DRC, okay. And Bobble. So far it's looking highly tuned. Not like most Lutri and Layla. I mean, there are enough good cards in the Legacy card pool that you don't really have to run anything that bad. Yeah, we might just get destroyed. We are on the play though, so there's a chance K-Command can catch this DRC. Ooh, nice, Cling to Dust. That'll help control their Delirium. Keep us alive so we can slam this Caves of Chaos Adventure. See where it goes from there. They're going to look at our top card. We're probably going to Cling the Bobble. We'll see. Oh, Castle Embreth. Standard All-Star. Gives all your creatures a little boost in power. We'll take 1. And then a pass. I think I'm going to play on basics for at least a little bit. Alright, we draw another Force of Will. So we are ready to force. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. I think that's better than trying to catch this on a K command. Let's just do our own thing. Price of Progress. So it's kind of a burn deck, it seems, which I guess makes perfect sense. I'm not going to force this, it's just 4 damage. My hunch to play on basics was a little more life and death than I realized. Alright, we see some blue mana enter the equation. Preordain, yep. I can let that slide. I think I definitely will want this Force of Will though. They might have like Fire Blast or something crazy like that. Deal a bunch of damage. Skewer the critics. It's another pretty burny spell. No Delirium, however, so this Goblin Shaman is putting up a wall. They're going to attack anyways. And then they're going to cast Mutagenic Growth. Okay. And there's the Delirium. Holy smokes. Down to 8. Now I'm not so sure about introducing the initiative to this game. It does feel like we're a bit in a full-on race, though. Bowmasters, okay. I think it's probably time to just keep all of my options open, so I'm going to put both of the creatures in the bin with the option to rebuy them with K-Command later. And then throw a land down, attack in with the Shaman token. I'll have Hardcast Force and a Pitched Force with Brainstorm. Although I'm probably just going to Brainstorm now. If I can get this thing off the field, that's pretty important. There's an Edict, okay. Yep, that's the move. Undoubtedly. Before any more surveilling happens, let's do that. 3 cards in hand. I'll force just about anything. I'll flash in these Bowmasters if they try to cantrip. And cantrip it is. Alright. Cast the most popular card in the format. Put a ping there. I am really happy to see them ponder though and not just start firing off all these burn spells. That is a huge relief. And there's another trigger, great. And they did choose to shuffle as well. Maybe there's some of that inconsistency that Lucci brings with him. They're passing the turn with 3 mana, and they're not getting their companion with that 3 mana, so something's going on. Right now the plan is to hit for 5 twice and then shock with K-Command, backed up with Force of Will. I'm at 8 life, they have 3 cards. There's that Swamp. Now we get a Reflection with Summoning Sickness. Swing in here. If we really need to as well, Cling to Dust can gain us 3 life. The turn passed without them doing anything. Though with Cling to Dust costing 4 mana to escape, I'm going to let them do the first thing, just so I'm not caught by a bunch of burn spells. I am really enjoying this. I never really get to play against burn in Legacy. You'll see it every so often, and some decks just really can't deal with it. But since it has a really hard time with the turn 1 decks of the format, you don't get to see it very often. Back in the day, Grixis control was definitely a deck burn could prey on. I was just basically hoping for a Gurmag Angler or my Hymn to Turox to take them on low enough resources. Nowadays, though, Grixis control has some tools like Cling to Dust. We got a Shield Red. Sorin the Mirthless was my go-to 4-drop for a long time, and that has some lifelink built in. They are casting Pyrokinesis on Bowmasters and Reflection. I think this is fine. I think I still have enough pressure to get over the line, and this is not actively killing me. Bedlam Reveler, I will definitely counter that. Another card I haven't faced in ages. Used to see it all the time in Mardu Pyromancer. I think I've talked about that deck on the channel before. It was a modern deck that used Faithless Looting in a fair capacity, since it had cards like Lingering Souls, and Bedlam Reveler was on its top end. Super powerful card. Lutri to hand, yep. There's another K-Command, and we can just end the game here. Get the Bowmasters back. Shock there. We don't have to show them multiple K-Commands. Let's hit the sideboard. Definitely going to want these Blue Blasts and Hydroblast. Maybe Pyroblast, but I'm not even really that sure. It seems like they are a burn deck, and then they're using blue for some cantrips. And cantrips are not really the things I like to fight over with my red blasts. We can definitely cut the Thought Seizes. And I like Plague Engineer against fair decks too. I'll bring that in. And then we can cut anything else costing us life? I don't think so. Force of Will seems important, although we can trim 1. Shield Red, Sorin, all good. I imagine they'll also have red blasts, but they might have a harder time finding them. That being said, just trimming some top end in general could be good. This is definitely the heaviest Grixis control deck I've ever seen. Let's trim 1 Narset. Well, actually, cut a Ransom. Narset seems a little more prohibitive. I'm really tempted to keep this hand because it has Cling to Dust, Force of Will, but there's only 1 land. It's not a keep. I'm going to send it back. This one I will keep, and I'll probably just send one of the Edicts, even though it was our best card in the last game. Wow. Both games, they just lead on the Channeler. That's pretty potent. I'll let them have it, though. Gotta be a better place for this Force of Will. We draw Brainstorm. That's pretty sweet. Bomat Courier. Well, if Plague Engineer can't hit DRC, it can definitely hit Bomat. It's tempting to force because it's possible there will be more cards under this Bomat than cards in their hand at one point soon. Oh, and a Swift Spear. I'm going to brainstorm. I need to figure out if I need to force this or not, because it's getting a little hot in here. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, cool. They have 3 cards left. Snap Edict is a ways off, so next turn I'll Edict a threat away, and if I let this resolve, they'll have 2 after that. They'll probably sacrifice the Swift Spear, or if they're chasing Delirium, they'll ditch the Bomat Courier to get 2 types, but Bomat has refueling potential. Who knows what those 3 cards could be? They could just be Lightning Bolts, Lightning Bolt type effects. They could be like card advantage spells, like Ren's Resolve or something. Literally anything out of Loot Tree. Well, I'll definitely just draw these lands. I think we'll survive. Alright, we'll play around that Price of Progress for as long as we can. Have them sacrifice something here, and then Plague Engineer can probably pick off something else, unless they sacrifice Bomat Courier and then get Delirium. In which case, I'm still going to name Human, because it will block Monastery Swift Spear pretty easily. Then land number 4 will give us a Snap Edict. And we can still Force a Will something. Okay, cool. Bomat goes down. I'm kind of relieved about that. Still don't get to see the face down card. Not until the game is over. They are casting Faithless Looting. This will probably give them Delirium, unfortunately. But I don't think I can fight over this. Yep, there goes Rift Bolt. And Lava Spike. Do I need to force this? No, I don't think I can. I think that is entirely insane. They put 1 card on top of their library. Probably end up forcing whatever the heck that is. Because here comes 6 damage. And they'll have 3 more in the air next turn. Not to mention they have Sacrifice Fodder in the Swift Spear. So it's not looking good. Ponder. That's what we gotta do. Lightning Bolt, and then I can't cast Shieldred, so that doesn't work, but we'll definitely Lightning Bolt. And then hopefully stabilize behind this Plague Engineer. And Force a Will. Then find another land. Or maybe Snap Bolt is just what we gotta do. Hopefully their last card in hand is just a land. Monomorphose. Yep. Well, that happens. They play a land and then light up the stage. I am going to force this. Then they'll attack me down to 2. And I will hopefully play a Shieldred before I die. Play a Shieldred and then also untap. It's kind of a bit much to ask, but we'll see what happens. Nah, I changed my mind. I'm going to ambush this card. Keep my Snapcaster options up. I was not expecting that. Alright. I chose poorly. I did not play around Cast Into the Fire. Just remember, everyone, there is no shame in losing to Burn on the draw. But getting the play is pretty special here. I saw Meltdown, and I immediately thought about Bomat Courier, but they're probably not on enough artifacts to make that relevant. We saw Baubles, but Meltdown doesn't really hose those, unless someone's trying to like cast a Kappa Cannoneer or something like that. I am going to swap in this Sauron's Ransom for Caves of Chaos Adventure. That's the kind of grind I want against this deck. I don't think I want to be introducing the initiative. The trap in the wrong hands could probably kill us. The only world in which I'd cast a Caves of Chaos adventure is if I was just slamming the door, and at that point, it sounds like I've already won. I will keep this slow and steady hand with 2 creatures, Force of Will, Brainstorm. Just search for my land drops, play Sorin, got a couple Vampire Nighthawks, or pretty close. Kick off with a Polluted Delta. Never know when you'll have to do that dreaded turn 1 Brainstorm, which I guess is a lot more common these days with Orcish Bowmasters around. Another one, okay. Might do that at the end of turn, we'll see. Storm Chaser Mage. Now that is a classic prowess threat. In response, I'm going to Brainstorm, see if I can afford to let this resolve. The answer is yes, definitely yes. Now, if any of this was going to get shuffled away, probably the second Snapcaster Mage. I like putting those back for later. It's a little rough that this thing has haste, though. Get that 1 point no matter what. I can also see this deck having days and being really sneaky, so let's make sure this happens first and then cantrip. Alright, sweet. No fight over that. Now let us ponder. Oh, geez. I do really want the Blue Blast and the Lightning Bolt and the Strix, but I also really wanted to play Sorin next turn. But I don't know if I can afford to not keep this Ponder. It's just too good. I think I'd probably consider Lightning Bolt a little more versatile than Blue Blast, but they also might have other big red threats that Lightning Bolt can't hit. We saw Bedlam Reveler in game 1. So I'll stack it like this and have Baleful Strix probably be my pitch to Force of Will, because I'm still super interested in hitting a land drop next turn, and Brainstorm can probably make that happen. They have land number 3, and they're immediately cracking. They're putting Lutri in hand. Alright, Lutri's on lock. Lutri walks right into Blue Blast. That's pretty cool. Alright, Brainstorm. There's the land. Sweet. Narset just became the best pitch. Put Snapback for later. Put Sorin on top for next turn. And I guess just relax. Or I didn't really think this through. I could play Strix right now. I'd rather hold up both, and I don't have a Volcanic Island. Getting on board this instant isn't super crucial. Layla the Blade Reforged. So we can't let this attack, but we can answer it before they begin combat and declare attackers. The Blue Blast is best used against Lutri, so I am going to Lightning Bolt Layla rather than Blue Blast it. Mutagenic Growth. Wow, okay. So that effectively trades for Lightning Bolt. Let's try that again. Let's slam the big Planeswalker. We could take 2 to put Snap in hand and just guarantee more loyalty. If we make a token, Sorin will have 2 loyalty and will be pretty easy to pick off. But we do have Force of Will to protect that from happening. I think it'll just be really difficult to win if we gain any amount of life. We just keep racking up our 2-for-1s in our favor. Snapcaster will be coming up. That's another one. Because we'll probably 2-for-1 ourselves with this Force of Will soon. Gut shot me probably means they light up the stage. This was a common play pattern you used to see when the modern decks would do stuff like this. Yep, there it is. Really bringing me back. Powerful interaction. And Soulscar Mage? Yeah, this could have been right out of Modern. Soulscar Mage is pretty annoying. It can make this vampire token permanently smaller. But I imagine they'd probably want to go after Sorin first. Lava Dart targeting Sorin the Mirthless. Okay. That happens. And if they want to sacrifice a mountain to flash it back, I will counter that. Or will I? I don't know, actually. Flame Jab. Don't like Flame Jab. The retrace is super gnarly. If I counter this, they'll just Lava Dart. And it doesn't really seem like they need that much mana to operate. Their last card is Lutri. Force is good for that. Okay. I'll accept this X for 1. Make sure I'm not messing up here, but I think if I just snap, I can just bolt. They can prowess +1 for Lava Dart, but I think that's it. Their last card is Lutri, so I could save the Blue Blast for later if I find another one. See if they want a Lava Dart. Okay. I was wondering if they were going to Lava Dart the Vampire token in response just to make it a permanent 1/2. Edict was also live there. But that is a more global form of removal, so I'll keep that around for later too. And at this point, I might even want to pitch Baleful Strix to Force of Will, and then cast Narset and just start filling up on cards. Ah, the Barb Ring. That can hit any target. Pretty scary. They are going after the Vampire Nighthawk Light. Now, if they Lutri in response to the Lava Dart and try and take out my whole board, I'm definitely forcing it. Okay, that does not happen. Shieldred's Edict, cool. Yeah, also there are odds that I just hit another blue card off this Narset. Everyone gets to stay. I think I would rather have another Narset in the deck for later, so I'll just put Force in hand to pitch. I'm at 18, and they have one card in hand, and it's Lutri. So I'm feeling pretty safe right now. There's no reason to not just counter this. Now, granted, any land they draw can represent a Flame Jab, and that will take my clock off the board. But then I'm just also getting another activation off Narset. Should be pretty rolled up here. Yeah, that's what I just said. A little sad that I saw Shieldred go straight to the bottom of the deck. That probably would have been lights out here. Land, okay. Lightning Bolt. Also sad to see another snap go back to the bottom. Okay, you know what? I'll just shuffle up. Future Brainstorms be damned. I want those cards back in the mix. Flusterstorm. Probably pretty good. And they'll draw, sure. Definitely best time to do that is right now with Narset around. And they drew another land, so that means they can retrace again. Yeah, I'm not going to fight over this. Not the greatest clock. Still a 2-for-1. Retrace isn't entirely free. Although Renton's 6 enjoyers will know that it feels pretty free. No one wants to draw lands, but if you're retracing, you don't mind so much. Alright. We're flooded out a little bit. Might have been wise to keep Sorin around. Now what could really punch through here? Something like Roiling Vortex or a non-instant or sorcery Haymaker. That's also not a creature because I have the Edict and the Bolt. Alright, nothing going on yet. I would also love Cling to Dust. Force of Will, okay. I didn't foresee it getting so grindy. Maybe protecting that Strix was definitely the right move. Although with Flame Jab having a retrace, I don't think that's very reliable. Alright, I guess I'll just start fetching all the lands out of my deck. And also not die to Price of Progress. Spike, yep. And nothing. There, that's better. Ugh. Yep, that's fine. Not holding out for any kind of Days Undoing shenanigans. They're not in the deck. Brazen Borrower, sweet. A little fragile, but Flame Jab is a sorcery, so if we flash that in on the end step and just get like one good crack in with it, should be able to get over the line. Alright, go ahead and set them up the bomb here. They are F6'd, that flies right in. Snapcaster Mage, I think we got it, folks. Pyrokinesis. Ooh, Finale of Promise. That's a nasty card. Back in the day, you could return your Arclight Phoenixes right away with this. Flusterstorm that. Oh, that was a giant punt. Sorry, y'all. I thought I'd cast the Brazen Borrower this turn for some reason. Well, let's get him tapped out. And then we'll snap Fluster. Or how about Blue Blast? Yeah. What a mess. Alright, they have to deal with both of these cards. And then also a Bolt to the face. Woo, Thunderous Wrath. Scary stuff. But they're going to control the board. That's good news for us. And Flame Jab. Yep. Alright. A lot of good draws here. Got them down to 5. Bowmasters, sweet. With 7 mana, we can force and still Bowmasters. Go ahead and send in these folks. Hit the ping there. We'll see if Cast Into the Fire shows up again. Not so far. Narset, okay. Yep, there it is. Go ahead and counter that. They got 1 card in hand and are tapped out. I think we got it. This also plays around Days. Bravo! We take down Lutri Burn. 1-1. Hello, hello. Here's match 3 against the experts on Oops All Spells, Faulted Form. No surprise to see a mulligan. He'll usually go for turn 1 in game 1, and so will we, because there's no force. Still no force. So we will be going to 5, undoubtedly. Losing that die roll is a bit of a problem. Youch. Just not finding it. Okay. Best one yet. Cling to Dust is also good in the matchup. They will have to deal with that as well. So let's just send all this stuff, I guess. Oh yeah, they're going. And they have a Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, hopefully their last few cards aren't a bunch of mana and a spy. Taking the force and then passing, so that's cool. Looks like they will have to figure out a way to win around our cling. Hitting a land, great. Not going to show that off though. Going to make them think we just Thoughtseize bugged ourselves another Force of Will. Lotus Petal, sure. And another one. Undercity Informer. Alright, well they're going, and they don't do this if they can't win, so they probably have Pact of Negation as well. Pretty wild hand. Yeah, I see 3... Oh, I see all 4 pacts. So, I'm not sure what they could have, but let's make the play we can make. Graveyard. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. I don't think I am. Pact of Negation is traditionally the card that can stop me at this junction. Dread Return. Go ahead and cast Cling to Dust targeting that. Alright, that was unexpected. I guess they just felt like they couldn't wait anymore. Let's bring in Flusterstorm. I like having 1 Red Blast. It's not very helpful unless you're kind of in the mid game and you can stop one of their Pact of Negations. Thoughtseize, yep. Surgical, definitely. Opposition Agent, same thing. Not really often you'll have 3 mana against this deck, but if you do get into a semi-grindy stage and you can shut off their Summoner's Packs, it can be pretty useful. Plague Engineer, nope, too slow. All this stuff is too slow. Fable the Mirrorbreaker, too slow. Having a bunch of blue cards is nice though. They don't often play into Meltdown, but sometimes they'll play around discard and play into Meltdown. But I don't think there's anything else I'm going to take out here. Well, the Edicts are bad, so I'll take a Meltdown and I guess another Red Blast. Alright, let's get to doing. This hand has a Force of Will, but that is it. And the other cards just aren't really cool enough to warrant a 1 protection hand, so let's mulligan. It's even worse. Let's throw it back. Okay. I mean, we went to 4 last time, but we do have a Thoughtseize, and they're also on 5, so this could work out. Kolaghan's Command, and then a Bolt, and see what happens. Okay, they're starting on a Thoughtseize. That's fine, mostly. They'll probably take our Thoughtseize. And then on 3 cards, they can't really do a line where they play Undercity Informer and pass because we have Lightning Bolt. Nice, that was a great draw. They might think the coast is clear. We also have a Xantid Swarm covered, so that's cool. Another Force, okay. That makes brainstorming not super scary. And I think I'll do that now. There's no way Oops is running Bowmasters 2, is there? That'd be crazy. Brazen Borrower, sweet. I like having ways to win as well. And I think we are kind of beyond the Xantid Swarm stage. I think I just want every blue card, and then I also need a land drop, so if they don't do anything, I can just flash in Brazen Borrower and start winning. So I will shuffle. Narset, okay. Ponder. There's a land and another Force. I'll take the other Force and then draw the island next turn, or the Badlands. And unfortunately, we'll have to draw another land after that, but then we just should be in business. Oh, Christ. Well, gotta force that. Don't like it. Veil of Summer. Okay. I guess I'll force that as well. And then instead play Narset. And hopefully get a surgical extraction. Otherwise the shields are down. There's no guarantee I'll get another blue card, so Flusterstorm is the take. Land, drop, and go. Okay. And surgical. Nice. Kolaghan's Command. Is that better than another Narset? It applies a little pressure. It also pressures their resources, which is kind of nice. But I think it's just got to be another Narset. That Flusterstorm will be a magnet for Cabal Therapy for sure, so Surgical will hopefully bring up the rear on that. And then if we get a next turn, Thoughtseize can also trip them up. Well, they're going for it. There's a Summoner's Pact. Now, actually, they could pay for that. So it's not super crazy. Yep, there goes Flusterstorm. That's the name. And they see the Surgical, and we got him. That'll bring us to 2-1. Let's keep rockin'. Welcome back for round number 4. Decent hand, I guess. Any land gets us a Narset. In the meantime, Lightning Bolt and Force of Will should keep us alive. Maybe we'll finally cast one of those 4-drops. Opponent also keeping 7. Let's lead on bad lands. So we have the option to Lightning Bolt, and also they will probably think we're a Reanimator or something scary like that. Start frantically looking for Force of Will and stuff. Turns out they're the Reanimator deck, as they are casting Grief, pitching Ashen Rider. Although nowadays I think I only really see Ashen Rider and Dredge, so we might be up against Dredge. I could force this and just kind of keep them in the dark on stuff, but I don't think it's worth it. I think we'll probably just take our force and then we'll be in a tough situation, unless Lightning Bolt happens to line up well. Yep. Lotus Petal. Okay, they also have an Entomb. If they have the Reanimate, they've just got it all. Yep, Grizzlebrand, okay. But then nothing? Well, we're just one turn too slow for this Narset to invalidate Grizzlebrand, and we did not draw Orcish Bowmasters, unfortunately. We can Brazen Borrower the Grizzlebrand. They will get to draw 7, which is really bad. Unless they feel like these double Lightning Bolts are just going to be too much pressure. Unlikely. Another Grief. Okay, that's probably what they were waiting for. Yep. Maybe they don't have a reanimation spell, though. Unlikely, but you never know. Brazen Borrower goes down. Alright. Exhume. Well, at least we got a Brazen Borrower, right? If they entirely whiff on everything, we can do some Narset stuff. Or if they feel like they have to draw again and they still don't find any like free discard stuff, maybe double Lightning Bolt will get there. Maybe. They're down to 6. Ooh. Lotus Petal. Faithless Looting. Another Grizzlebrand. Okay. I was happy that like Arcana Cruelty didn't also hit the yard or something like that. Dark Ritual. What could this be? Entomb, alright. There's the Archon. I think this safely eliminates our last out. But just for fun, let me see if I would have drawn the red source. No, it would have been Sauron's Ransom. Okay, cool. Let's definitely bring in Surgical Extraction, Thoughtseize, Flusterstorm. Didn't see any blue lands for the Show and Tell juke, so I don't know if that's really in their plans yet. And we're on the play this time. Opposition Agent beats up on Entomb. Let's cut the slow stuff, and then K-Command doesn't really line up well here either. And I guess I'd rather have Shieldred out of all the big 4-mana spells. Yeah, I guess this is about it. Oh, hold on. Plague Engineer's no good here. Even if they pivot onto like an Orcish Bowmaster's plan, I'm good to fight Rakdos midrange or Mono Black midrange. Yeah, I'll bring in a Hydroblast. Raise that blue card count and maybe clip a Faithless Looting if it's looking important. Force of Will, Bowmaster's Edict. This should do alright. Chancellor of the Annex, that's all good because we are on the play. No action over there. They're going to go straight to discard. And they're going to bend that Chancellor. Maybe looking to reanimate that. Just another land for us. Okay. I'm fine with them reanimating a Chancellor because we have the Edict. Yep, go for it. And more Bowmasters, sure. Here comes a hit for 5, yep. Pretty strong stuff. They're going to Cabal Therapy. That's pretty tricky. I'm not sure what they're going to name though. Maybe just Force of Will. I'm curious if they'll cash in their... Oh, Shieldred's Edict? Wow. Impressive. I can also just put a Baleful Strix in front of this though, if they don't make me force right now. Drawing another blue card is not super helpful just yet. Surgical, okay. Lots of good stuff to do here, but the Chancellor is going to make it difficult this turn. So as long as they don't go completely nuts right now, should be in pretty good shape starting next turn. And they have been stuck on one land for a minute. No attack there. Looks like we're at a stalemate. Getting to untap is a pretty big deal here. Would love a Thoughtseize or something like that. Land, okay. Just hanging out. Entomb, okay. That's not my fight. I imagine they'll go for Atraxa or something, or Archon, okay. Duress. I'm going to Surgical their Archons in response. See what needs fighting over. In any case, I'll want this monster out of the yard. A bunch of reanimation spells, another Chancellor, Serenity, so 2 answers to a... Oh, that can answer a Strix too. That's pretty scary. They don't have any red though. So, a couple answers to probably Leyline. I don't have them. That's cool. So yeah, they definitely have the reanimate angle covered. Ashen Rider still around. No Atraxa. That's good news. 1 Voidwalker. No Bowmasters. Massacre. That is pretty scary, although they'll never cast it for the free mode. They'll need 4 mana to do it, which is great. Probably not happening. Iona, that's another scary one. Couple Grizzlebrands, lots of Griefs. Okay. We should be able to do this. This will take Force of Will, which is pretty scary. But as long as we can control her graveyard, we should be able to get there. Still no attack, no surprise there. Now let's start putting in Bowmasters. Alright. Brainstorm. Cool. Nothing too crazy here. Part of me feels like this lightning bolt might be kind of important just to get over the line, but I can't really worry about that right now. Let's put these both back and then cast another Baleful Strix so we can at least push a little bit of damage. Play out land number 6, cool. Also got to be careful not to put a Bowmasters in the graveyard. If they reanimate one of those, we could be in trouble. No action over there. Probably won't see much happen until they get more land. Thoughtseize, okay. It's probably not getting better. Definitely take the Reanimate. It's the one card they can cast. Even though I'd kind of be interested in them casting it. It'll put them a lot closer to dead. Anyways, let's cast Ponder here. Don't want any of these cards. Shuffle. More Bowmasters, okay. A full swing would be pretty funny. That might be how this game ends even. Keep playing these lands out, I guess. And then, yeah, if they don't block here and fall to 9, then these each ping for 1, then they're down to 7. And they all attack. That puts them to 2. Oh, goodness, but they found the Entomb. Well, they can't really draw off Grizzlebrand. They can do other stuff, of course. But yeah, if we just send everything in, they have to block the army token, and then we just get the final strike in next turn. Iona. Ah, and they hit the land. Scary stuff. But they're going to go for Serenity first. I think that makes sense. They don't want to blow up their own Animate Dead. Okay. Operation Alpha Strike. Maybe we'll just draw that Lightning Bolt again, though. Make things easy. And number 2, or number 3, I guess, technically. Nope, just a land. Okay. Well, hopefully this works. Alright, so there go the Strix. They can animate dead targeting Iona and stabilize. That means they can't attack with Chancellor, though. And then they can just attack next turn. So, better get something good. And if they name red, we could be in some real trouble. They also just might not name red because a lot of people side out their red cards against Reanimator. They do choose red. Okay. That means I could draw any number of things. But the cheap out of drawing Lightning Bolt is not there anymore. Get every single irrelevant card out of my deck that I can. Let's see what happens. Thoughtseize, that does not do it. And that's 2 and 2. Let's fight for that positive record. Welcome back for match number 5. And this hand is fine. Kick it off with Thoughtseize on the play is pretty good. Cheap Spells and Snapcaster Mage are good together. Maybe we can finally cast Sauron's Ransom. A bit of a strange and furious league. Haven't really gotten to showcase a lot of the stuff. Again, we will lead on Badlands. Looks like a Jeskai control deck with 4th Aerolingus. I guess that's the only card I really care about. I don't care about Terminus. I don't care about Prismatic Ending. Dress Down can be a real pain, but they kind of have to pick a spot for it. And it's 2 mana to draw a card. Yeah, I think this is just the card I care about the most. I'm sure I can maneuver Snapcaster Mage around that Dress Down. Scalding Tarn go. Alright. Brainstorm. Cool. I typically find most of my cards pretty relevant against a blue-white X control deck. But Lightning Bolt is one of the less impactful ones. So if I can move some things around to this Brainstorm, or make them act on my end step here, and untap and get an uncontested Sauron's Ransom. Ooh, these are all pretty good, except I need land number 4. So let's put back Shieldred to shuffle, and then let's draw, or actually, let's go like this. Draw Shieldred, get rid of that Lightning Bolt, and we might see some cantripping from them right now. Yep. When you see this spread of cards, you just know that there's a bunch of Bowmasters chilling, and they might have actually gotten rid of Dress Down, or they're probably keeping Terminus around because they might think I am like a Delvery kind of deck. It's really tempting to go for Fable of the Mirrorbreaker here, but I'm going to wait for their end step. Cast Sauron's Ransom. If that doesn't do anything, then we get that, and if they counter it, then I can pretty safely slam Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, or if I draw land, Shieldred. Though Shieldred is not great against Swords to Plowshares decks, I will be siding her out. But in game 1, can really catch him off guard. I'll be pretty shocked if this Sauron's Ransom resolves and doesn't result in us getting a land. Let's get a basic here. Cool. See what we can get. I think it's just correct to get the guaranteed land, and Shieldred's Edict is not bad either. Although if they just put 2 lands in the second pile, it's not that bad either. Yeah, I'm going to stick with this one. We gave up on Thoughtseize and Strix. Okay, cool. I needed that land drop, so we made the right choice. Bowmasters, okay. This will probably get countered. Ideally not by a Spell Pierce. Okay, there's a Brainstorm. That's fine. Fable is in there. That's pretty potent. This will typically eat up 2 removal spells. I don't really expect to get to do a bunch of cool stuff with Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, but looks like, yep, Prismatic Ending. So there's number 1. And then a Ponder after that. Can't do anything about it. No shuffle on the Ponder. Also got to be thinking about Mystic Sanctuary picking up the Aerolingus. Now with this mode, I think I am good to ditch, because I really want a land drop here. Definitely Shieldred. And then, I guess the Edict. Nice, we hit the land drop. And Bolt does a lot of the same things that Edict does in this matchup. Unless they play a Teferi and tick up, that would be annoying. But they're going to land go over there, so I guess we'll just play another Sauron's Ransom. Keep the grind alive. Force negation, that's fine. What shall we do now that they're tapped low on my turn? Probably nothing. Ooh, never mind. This is awesome. Please work. Force pitching dress down. I think I'm just supposed to let it go, unfortunately. Like I said, the Aerolingus is going to be devastating. Well, it's only 3 horses. I'll have Bowmasters to follow up. Or I could just bolt one. And I could probably beat 3 horses. Snapcaster Mage is also pretty good, though. Narset will give me some selection. And their deck largely does not function. No, I'm going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. Bowmasters is big and scary again now that their dress down was pitched to that Force of Will. And they still have to deal with this. Untapping with Reflection is some pretty serious shit. I don't think Terminus is in the mix anymore. They are going for a Brainstorm. They're not going up for Aerolingus. Interesting. Alright, well, see what happens here. It doesn't seem like this should work. They probably have swords, but then they're not swordsing Reflection. So I don't know. We'll see. Well, it resolved. That's step 1. And there's Brainstorm resolving 3 triggers from Orcish Bowmasters, all going to the player. And now having a 4/4 army token is pretty solid as well. If that Terminus is still kicking around, I will probably force that. Although it is weird to care about those cards. Okay, they're at 7. They're at a stage where Bolt, Snap, Bolt is lethal if they crack a fetch land. There's the Miracle. I'm probably good to force this. Just really making them have it. Swords on Reflection. On the way out, yeah, I'll copy the Reflection, or I'll copy the Bowmasters. Get them to 6. Precarious spot. Another Swords. Okay, cool. So they have 1 card left. I'm not sure what it could be. They're just passing. Well, even if it's dressed down, I think this still works. It's pretty aggressive, so maybe I'll just hang back. See if the attack connects. Okay, it didn't have to. They conceded on their end step. I will take all the red blasts, and I will take all the blue blasts, because 4 Aerolingus has really changed the texture of this matchup. I used to not bring in blue blast because I just wouldn't want to fight over their red blasts. But now there's something very real to fight over, and it is an X spell. Let's trim a couple Force of Wills, trim Shieldred. Oh, From the Catacombs is good in this matchup too, unless they have exactly Force and Negation for it. I like Plague Engineer in the fair matchups. Caves of Chaos Adventure doesn't seem great because they are a swords deck, but just introducing the initiative can be pretty good. We'll cut a Lightning Bolt and a Brazen Borrower. They're going to have red blasts, so maybe cut 1 Narset as well. You can trim a land too. They're not coming out of the gates too hard. And 1 more Force. Looking good. Not a very exciting hand, but it's just fine against Jeskai. We'll just make some land drops. Maybe get a 2-for-1 in with Baleful Strix. Take it nice and easy. Set up, develop our game plan. Answer some stuff along the way. See what the top of our deck delivers. We get another land. Cool. Well, let's represent all the scary stuff and pass the turn. Hopefully cutting that land will really pay us out in the late game, now that we're all pretty set up on land drops. Brainstorm, cool. Let's represent Bowmasters, but I don't want to run Baleful Strix into a Dress Down or a Red Blast or whatever. Playing some land go, respecting each other's Red Blasts. Let's Brainstorm. The only way this goes horrible is if they have Hull Breacher. That did not happen. I like seeing Thoughtseize as well. K-Command's probably for later. I'll draw Thoughtseize. Alright, see what's going on over there. Supreme Verdict, not a big deal. Teferi's pretty annoying. The rest of these are all pretty much 1-for-1s. And they had a Ponder, but yeah, they didn't want to play into Bowmasters. I'm going to take Pyroblast and then cast Baleful Strix. Just get some value in that way. That works through my Brainstorm. And then I get on board. See what they want to do about this. Best case scenario, they Supreme Verdict hit. There's no way that's happening. Okay, Tundra was the draw for turn. Ponder, yep. No shuffle on that, but they're also not going for Teferi. I'm not sure what that could mean. They don't have Wandering Emperor mana up. Another Strix, that's cool. They could have a Pyroblast, but I'm usually cool with a Strix getting hit by Pyroblast. It gives Kolaghan's Command something to do. Okay, that did not happen. Another Edict. Not super exciting. Now let's see if this is good enough for a Supreme Verdict. Teferi, yep. And they go up. That is awesome. Plays right into Shieldred's Edict. Unless they have some way to protect it. And I'll probably just fire both, though, if that happens. Snapcaster Mage, cool. Right on, right on. Really pulling ahead in the grind here. Although they're up 1 land on us, we have 2 creatures to their 0 and 6 cards in hand to their 4. Alright, no action over there. No land drop or anything. Brainstorm. Okay. That feels pretty significant, but let's attack first. Okay, nothing happens. I'm not going to add any more to this board with Supreme Verdict over there. That happened, and we hit Cling to Dust, which is probably my favorite card in this matchup. I don't think we'll need Plague Engineer. Have yet to see anything like Monastery Mentor, or even like Fairy Mastermind or Shark Typhoon. And then we can also put back a Lightning Bolt. I mean, we're redrawing all this stuff anyways, we're not shuffling. But Cling to Dust looking awesome. Wandering Emperor. I will let this resolve. And they're going to plus. Hit them with another Edict here. Feeling pretty good about that. Just not letting them get paid on these Planeswalkers is a pretty big deal. And then eventually they're just going to have to Supreme Verdict away the Strixes. Narset, I think I'm going to let this go too. They'll get the 2-for-1 off of us because I'll have to Lightning Bolt. Unless I just don't do that and just attack it down with Strix. I could be in for that as well. But I feel like this Snapcaster Mage is going to be pretty crucial to the win here. Pyroblast, okay. See if they go after one of the Strix. And then I'll be pointing a Lightning Bolt at Narset. Okay, sweet. Hang back. Terminus, okay. That happens. Any order is good. Would have preferred Supreme Verdict, of course, for the K command action, but here we are. 5 cards in hand, including Supreme Verdict, Prismatic Ending, and Pyroblast. And I don't want to move on this Cling, because with it on the stack, that's when they can do their Mystic Sanctuary action. I guess I can just start working on their hand a little bit. Take out Narset too. And there goes that Prismatic Ending. Alright. Plague Engineer's back. Cool. Just hang out. Fourth for 1. Yes. I think I'm okay with the Monarchy happening, right? Nah, actually, why complicate things? Lightning Bolt. Ponder. Okay. I would really like a land. No luck. Okay. Hydroblast is cool, though. Working on low resources here, that's for sure. Go ahead and put a Plague Engineer on human. Passing over there. There was no Mystic Sanctuary, no nothing to speak of. We'll pick up Pyroblast, which is nice. And then we can apply some pressure here. Slowly getting the job done. They are at 12. The end is definitely in sight. Just got to be really patient and not extend into Supreme Verdict. Prismatic Ending. Okay. There's the Sanctuary. Let's try Cling to Dust. Cool. Now we have a Ponder. I think flashing back K command is going to be kind of important to win this game as well, but I kind of need a lot of mana to do that, and also Hydroblast the Pyroblast. But there's another land. Cool. Let's just hit that and Ponder. Try and set some stuff up. Okay, another Snapcaster Mage is perfect. So we'll queue that up. But just take that other Pyroblast for now. Basically, the goal is to maybe get like 1 or 2 hits in with Snapcaster Mage, and then we should be good on the Lightning Bolts. Them being at 12, and they're going to pass here. So let's start that fight now. Pyroblast we knew about from ages ago. We'll counter it. There's a fetch land. Snapcaster Mage, we will Pyroblast that one. They will Blue Blast it, sure. And now they have a Supreme Verdict. And now we can do what we've all been waiting for. The beautiful K command on the flashback. Getting back our snap, and I'll have them discard. There it goes. Sweet. Okay. Depending on what they draw, we should be able to just kind of fight through now. If they Aerolingus for a bunch, I'll probably just have to force it. But looking good. That is a strange attack. All good with me. Maybe something scary's coming our way, but we can definitely fight through it, whatever it is. Brainstorm. Cool. Yeah, they see the writing on the wall. We're up many cards. I don't have to enact the master plan, but it was there. All right. That was a hard fought 3-2. We lost to Reanimator and Mono Red Stompy, which, those are decks that will just mess you up if you ever stumble. So I think it was a pretty good showing. I probably have to do this again, though, because I didn't really get a feel for the 4-drops I wanted to test out. I think Soren did like a little bit of stuff against Burn. I don't know if I ever played Caves of Chaos Adventure. And then Shield Dread I discarded in this matchup because it was a Swords one. So yeah, I don't know if that is a lesson just saying that the format is pretty fast. Either you're on Bowmasters and kind of grinding it out, or you're just ignoring Bowmasters entirely and starting to just fight on a much faster axis like Oops All Spells, Reanimator. It was cool running into that Jeskai control deck at the end. I really missed those matches. I will be revisiting this. I thought Sauron's Ransom was pretty cool. It's a good grinding tool. Flashing it back with Snapcaster Mage is pretty sweet. And the consistency didn't feel all that impacted by only going down to 2 Ponders. And Ponder definitely is less powerful in this Bowmasters world. But I don't think we faced any Bowmasters decks. So that's interesting that I didn't really miss it that much. Anyways, I guess I'll leave it there for now. Probably going to revisit this, if not this exact deck list, something pretty similar to it. But yeah, keep the Grixis stream alive out there. Have a great day. I will catch you all later.